My parents took me to court to evict me so my sister could own her first home. In the courtroom, my 7-year-old raised her hand and asked the judge, "Can I show you something Daddy doesn't know?" The judge nodded. She lifted her tablet and pressed play. The video began. "My name is Matt. I'm 35, an architect, the older kid, the reliable one. The guy who shows up with a tool bag and a measuring tape when everyone else just shows up with opinions. I design schools and small public buildings. On weekends, I fix things, hinges, fences, roofs that sag. People call me when something leaks or when they want my brain for free. I'm a dad, too." Nora is 7. She has my stubborn chin and her mom's honesty. When she laughs, it sounds like marbles in a jar. When she's quiet, she's building cities out of shoeboxes, worlds out of tape. My family knows all this. They also know that my sister Ava is the golden one. She's 30, works in event marketing, smiles like a TV host, and gets treated like the center of every room. I learned early that in our house, help flowed one way: when Ava needed a backdrop built, a wall repainted, or drywall fixed after another boyfriend mistake. Guess who showed up with drop cloths? Me. And when I ever needed more than a pat on the back, the room went silent. 2 years ago, I moved into the carriage house behind my parents' house while rebuilding my credit after a medical emergency with Nora. It wasn't charity. I gutted the place, rewired it, leveled the floors, installed proper egress windows. I paid for everything. My parents called it temporary. I heard the hesitation. The real trouble started at a Sunday dinner in early spring. My mom plated asparagus like she was on TV. My dad butchered the roast chicken. Ava twirled her wine and asked, "So you're still in the carriage house?" "Yep," I said, "until I buy something. Prices are ridiculous." She smiled. "It's kind of perfect, like starter home perfect." I laughed. "For who?" "For me," she said, like it was obvious. "I'm turning 31. It's time to own something." My parents said nothing. They didn't even look at me. Nora tugged my sleeve. "Daddy, can I have the drumstick you don't want?" "Take both," I said, because suddenly I didn't want anything. Ava shrugged. "It would be good for the family if I settled down." My mom nodded slowly. It would be nice to see Ava in a place of her own. That's when something clicked, the quiet sound of a puzzle piece snapping into place. "Oh, that's what this is." I didn't say anything, but that was the first crack. You don't design roofs without spotting leaks, and you don't grow up as the not favorite child without recognizing a plan before anyone says it out loud. That night, after Nora hid her tablet under her pillow, she whispered, "Are we moving?" "We're okay," I said. I believed it then. But the next part unfolded without me. It started with a text from my mom. "Can you grab coffee after work?" At the cafe, still in my dusty work vest, I saw a folder in front of her. Parents love using folders to make betrayal look professional. "We've been talking," she said. "Ava?" I asked. "Your dad and I think it's time to make things official with the carriage house." "Official how?" "Ava has been saving," she said. "For what?" "For a down payment on the building you're living in, her first home. It's important for young women to build equity." "She should buy a place," I said, "just not the one I live in." She slid the folder to me. Inside were comps, a messy sketch of the property, and a draft agreement with my name nearly erased. "It says 90 days, I said. "That's not possible. Nora's school, the bus route. It would be good for her to learn flexibility," she said. Later, at dinner, Ava added, "I'll pay rent. I'll be a fun aunt neighbor." "You haven't paid rent since college," I said. "That's not the point." The point was her story, and my parents bought it. Then came the certified letter, the kind you sign for like it's a bomb. Plaintiffs, my parents. Defendant, me. "Daddy?" Nora asked as I reread it. "Why are you making your thinking face?" "Because grown-ups are being silly," I said. "That's what you call cruelty when you're talking to a first grader." The complaint called me a trespasser. It said I refused to vacate. It said my living there interfered with Ava's ability to own her first home. They actually used those words in a legal document. I called my dad. "You sued me." "We didn't sue you, the lawyer handled it." "You hired a lawyer to sue me." "It's not personal. You wrote my name on the lawsuit." He sighed. "Ava needs stability." "And Nora needs what?" I asked. "Her clothes in a suitcase?" Silence. I didn't scream. I went practical. I gathered texts, printed rent receipts, screenshotted every repair I'd done for them, saved the email where my mom thanked me for paying their outbuilding taxes. Paper doesn't lie. At school drop-off, Nora squeezed my hand. We're not moving, right? Not if I can help it. And you can, she said. I know you can. I'm going to try. Weeks later, my ex asked, do I need to take Nora more while you figure this out? Maybe, and please don't bring her to court unless the judge asks. Of course not. I'm sorry, Matt. Me too. And then came the family group texts. Family is everything. Ava deserves a chance. That's how the slow drip finally became a flood. It's only fair, or so they said. Fairness, apparently, meant throwing a kid's drawings into banker boxes because a 30-year-old wanted an Instagram caption about keys. The worst part wasn't the paper, it was the small things. My mom stopped leaving leftovers at my door. My dad stopped pretending to check the boiler. Ava stopped saying please every visit. She hovered in my doorway like a realtor. I could do floating shelves, she mused once, eyes tracing lines across my wall like a laser level. Maybe paint this brick. Ava, I said. What? She looked innocent. Practiced. This is my home. She smiled, toothless, for now. At night, when the house was quiet and the radiators clicked like they were counting, I stared at the ceiling, rehearsing calm words. Angry words would make me the problem. Calm words might make the truth sit down. One thing about being an architect, you learn to read loads. Some walls bear weight, some are decoration. I couldn't tell yet which my parents were, but the court date came. It always does. The courtroom was smaller than TV made it look. Beige walls, tired flags, a clock struggling to keep up. The judge was mid-50s, with kind eyes that didn't fool around. The bailiff moved like a metronome. Ava wore a white blazer, poised like she'd just been promoted by a magazine. My parents sat shoulder to shoulder, like a bench was a lifeboat. Jess sat behind me, the better human, with Nora beside her, tablet in backpack, earbuds anchoring her small frame. Case number, the clerk began. My parents' lawyer went first. Common expensive, permissive use, revocation, client's right to quiet enjoyment, daughter's first opportunity at home ownership, first home, he said it like a sermon, first home, over and over. When it was my turn, I stood, my mouth felt like chalk, but architects brief boards all the time. I'm not a squatter, I said, I'm their son, I've paid utilities, taxes on the outbuilding, sent rent every month, I remodeled at my expense with their permission, I have receipts. I placed the folder down, paper made a sound, truth has a sound. They want to evict me so my sister can have it as her first home, I said, that's their phrase. But there's more, a pattern of me subsidizing the building while they treat it like a toy to hand out. The judge raised a hand. This isn't small claims with feelings. I need facts. Understood. We went through photos, emails, that single text from my mom, thanks for covering taxes again, we'll pay you back, which never happened. Venmo notes, permits my dad asked me to pull for faster approvals. Not true, but he believed it. The lawyer objected. Irrelevant. The judge shook her head. Pattern is relevant in equity. Then Ava spoke, glossy and rehearsed. I'm not the bad guy. I've been saving. I deserve a safe home. You do, I said softly. It just doesn't have to be mine. She looked at me like I'd ruined a party. My dad finally jumped in. He was just staying until he got his act together. I've had my act together for 10 years. I said, you just didn't like the plot. Enough, the judge said. I have what I need. Then it happened. A small hand tugged Jess's sleeve. Nora, who had been drawing quietly, whispered something. Jess shook her head. Nora stood anyway. Small kids stand like lightning. Everyone noticed. Your Honor, Nora said, voice high but steady. Can I show you something Daddy doesn't know? The courtroom froze. Who are you? The judge asked. I'm Nora, she said. I'm 7. I nodded once. You may, the judge said, careful. Nora walked to the front, pulled her tablet like a secret. It's a video, she said, from our camera. I learned how to save it. It was show and tell. The judge took it, treating it like evidence, which it was. Where's this from? She asked. The day Aunt Ava came over while Daddy was at work, Nora said. She told me not to tell, but I needed to. The video played. Afternoon light. Living room. Timestamp at the top. The door opened. My mom and Ava stepped inside while I was gone. Mom rifled through mail. Ava pulled the CO detector battery. Fingers fast and practiced. Don't touch that, my mom said, but like a script, not a rule. Relax, Ava said, smiling. If the inspector fails him, he'll have to move faster. Mom lifted a stack of drawings. We'll just say they're old. Nora's voice piped from the stairs. Hi, Andy. Ava spun around. Hey, Peanut. Secret. Don't tell Daddy. Surprise. What kind? Tiny Nora asked. The kind that's good for the family, Mom said. The video went on Ava fiddling with the breaker panel. Clear audio, faces clear. I didn't know whether to thank my daughter or throw up. The judge watched the whole clip. She handed back the tablet, calm but heavy. Do you want to be heard? She asked my parents. Mom's mouth opened, closed. We didn't mean. Judge raised a finger. We're not pretending this is about empowerment when I have a video of coordinated attempts to sabotage safety equipment and manipulate an inspection. Quiet. Quiet is worse than a shout. You asked me for equity. Equity is conscience. Dad tried one last swing. He's ungrateful. This isn't about gratitude, I said. It's about closure. Judge nodded. Motion denied. Petition dismissed with prejudice. Plaintiffs are enjoined from entering defendant's residence without consent. Case referred to Housing Authority for attempted interference with safety devices. She looked at Nora. You did the right thing. Nora blinked. Are we moving? Not today, the judge said. Then softer. To me, get your locks changed. By the time we got home, 3 aunts had texted question marks. One uncle sent a link. 10 ways to be less selfish. Jess hugged Nora on the porch. Hero, she whispered. Nora shrugged. I just colored inside the lines. Inside, I pressed the CO detector. Battery intact. Screened as it should. Missed calls, Mom, Dad, Ava. Unknown number, Mom again. Landline. I didn't answer. I ordered new deadbolts. Booked an electrician. That night, Nora crawled into my lap. Did I get you in trouble? You got us out of trouble, I said. Are Grandma and Grandpa mad? They're mad at the video, I said. And the video is true, she thought, then nodded. Truth is like seatbelts, annoying, but important. The next morning, my dad showed up on the sidewalk like a storm front. He didn't step onto the stoop. The injunction letter had already arrived. He held his hands out, palms up, like, how did this happen? You embarrassed us, he said. In a room you chose, I said. He ignored that. Your mother is sick over this. She's not sick, I said. She's disappointed she didn't get what she wanted. He rocked on his heels. We were trying to help your sister. I know, I said. You always are. He looked past me into the living room like he could unsee the tablet. She's the baby, he said, as if that were a legal doctrine. Then buy her a crib, I said. Stop asking me to be the mattress. He flinched, maybe at the tone, maybe at the metaphor. I didn't say it to be clever. I said it because it was true. For a week, a weird quiet settled over us. No, simple. We're making lasagna. Come over. No, are you free Saturday? The fence needs you. I began to see how much of my life had been built around other people's expectations. Whole Saturdays opened up like empty lots. I took Nora to the lake. We built a bridge out of driftwood and the last bits of summer. I made pancakes badly, and she ate them like they were perfect. I drove past open houses and didn't leave my name. I measured the little bedroom and drew Nora a loft bed with steps that doubled as drawers. When she saw the sketch, she gasped as if she'd discovered a new color. We built it together, 2 screwdrivers like swords. Then the messages changed. My mom texted, we overreacted. Let's talk. Ava sent a paragraph about the pressure she'd been under. My dad wrote, family is messy. I didn't respond. Silence is a boundary that doesn't need exclamation points, I told myself. Instead, I wrote my own letter, 1 page, personal, printed so the thunk counted. Mom, Dad, Ava, it began, I love you. That hasn't changed. What has changed is access. You don't get keys. You don't set my timelines. You don't walk into my home because you decided it's yours. We won't be at Sunday dinner for a while. If we talk in the future, it will be in a therapist's office with rules. If you post about me, don't. If you show up here, don't. If you call Nora to explain, don't. This is not revenge. This is closure. We are not moving. We are building our life. I signed it, not love. Just my name. I expected rage. I got pivot. People used to me bending don't accept straight lines, they try new angles. Ava posted a photo of a key on Instagram. Caption, homeowner vibes. Confetti comments followed. 3 days later, Mom called, pretending to check the boiler. You know, we were only thinking of Nora. Children need a yard. She has one, I said, 20 steps from our door. But, Mom, I said gently, stop. She sniffed. Well, if you won't forgive us, I forgive you. I hung up. Dad followed with a text, we're updating our wills. I put my phone down and traced Nora's loft bed parts on plywood. On the 4th Saturday, I saw Ava at the grocery store. Diplomatic half smile. We should talk, she said. We are, I said. You know, I didn't mean to hurt Nora. You told a 7-year-old to keep a secret, she said. You pulled a safety device. You meant to get a result. You got one. Her face hardened. You always make me the villain. You cast yourself, I said. She stepped closer, then stepped back, glancing at the aisle camera. Okay, she said, enjoy your little shack. I looked at my basket: milk, eggs, maple syrup, screws. I will, I said. After groceries, I drove to a locksmith. I handed over my old deadbolts and my new resolve. We had a situation, I said. He nodded. While cutting keys, he said, you're the architect who did the library edition, right? Yeah. My kid loves that reading nook. Feels safe. Safe, that word. Safety isn't just locks and codes. It's a calm voice, a choice not to answer, a letter that says no. At night, when the new locks clicked, the carriage house felt different. Not bigger, not fancier, just mine. Nora taped a sign on the door in bubble letters, home. Under it, smaller, no secret visits. I didn't ask her. She was building too. I can name the day the anger left, not the dismissal, not the locks, not telling Mom to stop using yard like a moral clause. 2 months later, on a Tuesday, I was laying out a school renovation, chasing winter light, when Jess sent a photo, Nora on the bus, gap-toothed, thumbs up, 3 words, she's okay, Dad. Something ached. The part that checked for the next email didn't disappear, it just stopped driving. People want revenge arcs. This isn't that. This is a wiring diagram and is built. I'm drawing true lines. I still see my parents at cousin showers. I stay by the coffee urn. Mom tests jokes. I answer what matters. Dad tries football small talk. We exist in the room without being rearranged. Ava bought a condo, posted the backsplash, called herself a girl who can do both. After hanging a towel hook, good for her. I don't need credit or an invite. Sundays, Nora and I build cedar bird feeders, libraries, bridges. Safety is a place you choose. Sometimes Mom texts therapy. I reply with clinic and date. Sometimes they show. I repeat the sentence, I love you. You don't get keys. The court order sits in a clear sleeve. Paper is memory. On shaky days, I press play on Nora's video, 15 minutes long. The lesson lasts longer. If the people who raised you will kill your alarms to protect their story, become your own alarm. This isn't revenge. It's about Nora living where promises don't hide knives, about not being a wall to hang things on. Boundaries aren't meanness, they're seatbelts. Closure isn't a slam, it's a deadbolt's click. The whir of a saw when the cut fits, the thunk of a letter, a text that reads, she's okay. Maybe my parents never really get it. Maybe Ava never says sorry without a but when I tuck Nora in, she keeps her tablet close because she wants it, not to hide a secret. I'm Matt Architect. I place light where it belongs. I used to be a utility line. Now, alarms work. Windows open easy. The person with the key knows how to use it. No one gets to turn my life into their first home. No one tells my kid to keep secrets. Family won't be the bruise. I'm done being rearranged. I build. I protect. I stay calm when people tell on themselves. I tell the truth, even when it clicks quiet. I'm not moving, not like that. Do I regret letting Nora speak? No, she told the small, exact truth. That's architecture too, measure twice, cut once, don't hide the load. We're okay, more than okay, we're home.